The flight recorders from the Ethiopian Airlines plane that crashed on Sunday have been recovered. 157 people from more than 30 countries were killed. The Boeing 737 MAX 8 came down minutes after taking off from Addis Ababa. China, Ethiopia and Indonesia have all now grounded their fleets of the same model for safety checks. It is the second crash of this new aircraft in 6 months.
Digging for clues. Response teams at the site where Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed. Amid the plane's fragments, they have found the black box. It should help provide clarity over what brought the plane down in this farmland, killing everyone on board. The fact that so little of the plane is intact suggests that it fell almost vertically at a great speed. From above, the crash site appears contained, dominated by a single crater. The plane took off from the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa at 8:38 in the morning, bound for Nairobi. Just 6 minutes later, it vanished off the radar. The pilot had reported trouble during ascent and wanted to turn back.
Climb and descent, but particularly climb, are the most critical phases of flight. That's just an industry standard across the board for all aircraft. So anything that goes wrong in those stages is going to be more potentially carry more consequences. Worst case scenario, be catastrophic.
Ethiopia is marking a day of mourning, and the grief extends abroad too. Ben found out that his father, Joseph Kuria, a dual British-Kenyan national, was among the dead.
Found out that nearly everybody had passed away, and it was just a frantic rush to work the phones to kind of try and get any information that we could get.
Many passengers were on their way to a UN Environment Conference in Nairobi. Among them, Joanna Toole.
Many a time I advised her to take it easy. But when you've got a vocation, when you've got a passion for something, it's not like an ordinary 9-to-5 job.
The victims were honored at the conference.
As the day and the week unfolds and the world's global environment leaders meet to discuss the future of our planet, we will not forget this tragedy, nor those that perish with it.
Ethiopian Airlines says it's too early to say what caused the crash. Still, it has grounded its fleet of Boeing 737 MAX planes.
We have grounded all Boeing B737-8 MAX fleet, which Ethiopian Airlines was operating and which was involved in yesterday's accident, as a precaution.
Chinese and Indonesian airlines followed suit. An investigation is underway, and many hope it will address the unanswered questions. Why would a 4-month-old aircraft crash? What caused the difficulties that the pilot reported before he went off the radar? How did this, a routine flight, end in tragedy? Tomi Oladipo, BBC News, Nairobi.
Well, just in the last few minutes, we've heard that South Africa's Comair have also grounded their fleet of this particular aircraft. So all the latest details of this story coming in different strands, and we'll be across all of that through the course of our programme. Within the last hour, we've also heard from a number of witnesses to this crash.
The plane crashed here. There was a loud explosion followed by lots of smoke rising in the sky. We came running here and we were shocked and saddened when we saw what was happening. You could see human body parts, documents and passports were scattered everywhere. There were a lot of Kenyans in it. I saw identification documents of a university student from America. I saw pictures of Ethiopians and Chinese people, and we handed these documents over to the police.
When it was hovering, fire was coming from its tail. Then it tried to lift its nose, but when it couldn't, it was leaning side to side. Finally, when it passed over our house, the nose pointed down and the tail raised up. It went straight into the ground with its nose, then it exploded. We came running here. The plane was burning and there was a lot of smoke. What we saw later was very disturbing.